Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I was just taking a look at my turns here, and I realized that this little guy over here was sliding a bit to the right when she turns her head, so probably shouldn't do that. But I think that's going to be pretty easy to fix. The shape seems fine. So I think if I just grab, like, everything here and just take it and move it like a click or two over to the left, then everything will be okay again. Yeah, seems fine. Ah, hello there, Luminance. How are you doing today? Okay, now I just gotta do that with the other left turns. Yeah, that's a bit better. And down here. Daylight savings happened again. We'll stream at the same time, relative to my time zone, so... Yeah, unfortunately this means that people that do not observe daylight savings, which is most of the world, I stream at a slightly different time. Just kind of how it is. Alright, I think that is doing much better. I just wanted to adjust the shape very slightly here. Alright. Yeah, just kind of make sure that they join properly again since I moved everything over. Yeah, there we go. That's looking a bit better. Might need to adjust up here a little bit too, but considering that I'm planning on doing that after I finish my upper right turns, I will worry about that then. Let me just make sure I'm happy with everything over here before I go ahead and go back to that. Probably just do some minor adjustments here and there. Yeah, no worries. It's okay, I put it out there for people to find, but I do not actually mind if people ask me. So it's all good. Honestly, probably should have announced it on Twitter as well, but I just went ahead and changed my description again. So... So ultimately, this is just the time that I have to do this. So, I thought about basically keeping it at the same relative international time, but it would have been a little bit hard. This is just this time works out pretty well for me. Basically, I just hope that my area gets rid of daylight savings at some point, because I don't even know why this thing exists. It exists to be annoying. That's how it feels sometimes. I'm honestly still not sure what benefit it's supposed to provide, but yes. Yes, it is. Because at this point, the time goes an hour forward for no apparent reason, and we just kind of have to roll with it. So that means at the same time that I would stream is an hour earlier for people that do not observe it. So it just means that at 1 week, random weekend, we lose an hour of sleep for reasons completely unknown to me. Legit, I do not know why we do this. I do not know what benefit it serves. Other than just annoying everyone involved. But here we are. Not much I can do about it. Just one of those weird things. I heard that the country was going to stop doing that at some point, but I guess it hasn't happened yet. I'm not quite sure how that's all going to shake out. I haven't, like, checked on it in a while. But that day cannot come soon enough. Okay, there we go. That's better. Alright, let me reseal the closures over here. And then I can get back to fixing up my upper right turn. Let me see, how is this supposed to come together? I guess that's fine. I think I can make it a little bit smoother right through here. There we go. Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So, yesterday I was working on this area up here. I got quite a lot of it, but after a while I just got kind of tired. I didn't sleep very well the night before last, so it was proving a little bit difficult to get those last few details down. But honestly, I think I did better than my self of yesterday gave herself credit for. Because I think it's mostly looking fine. I mean, there's some wiggling down there. But I think it mostly looks okay. I might adjust it a little bit down here too. Basically, I just want to check this whole area over here up against every angle. I'm gonna start with the right ones, and I think I'll do my... Yeah, I think I'll do the left ones when I start wanting to get the back of her head too. Okay, well... let's get started with the upper right for now. Just fix this part that's kind of bulging out for no apparent reason. Oh, I gotta say, that random bulge probably makes more sense than daylight savings time. I swear, I get a little bit salty about it every year because it just... Why? It's like, I remember looking up the history of daylight savings time a while back, but I can't remember any of it. But I remember just, even knowing why it happened, I still just ask myself why. So, apparently I did not find the reasoning sufficient. Something farmers, from what I remember. Okay. So let's see, the angle of this dark part is fairly delicate here. I'm still trying to find exactly where all of this should sit. And it looks like I'm actually making the line a little bit thick here. So I guess I need to push those vertices a little bit closer together. Which ones? I'm going to consult the mesh for that. Which ones need to become a little bit closer together? Okay. So yeah, that explains why I felt like the shadow over here was also a little bit small. It wants to send all these vertices a little bit closer to that line. Make the line a little bit thinner. And that should fix a lot of issues. That might have been the problem that I was having trouble seeing yesterday. Just the line being abnormally thick. Okay, I made that line much, much thinner. Hopefully that's not too thin. No, not at all. Perfect. Okay. Now I can go back to just kind of pushing it in place. I pushed it a little bit too far to one side while I was thinning out the line there. Okay, there we go. So I think I have everything good up until right about down there, where you can see that there's a little slight bulge. But all I have to do is guide that into place and all will be well. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep working my way down that line. So far it's going pretty well. I'm glad everything is just moving well today, and I'm not finding myself getting stuck on anything. Those days are always nice. I feel like they've been happening a bit less lately. But no, everything is moving quite nicely. Let's see, so the shape I have here, it kind of goes in and then back out. Do I like that shape? Or do I want it to be straighter like I have it up top? No, I think I like the slight curve. So I'm going to try to replicate this curve a little bit more, because right now I have it very, very straight. And I do like putting little curves into things when I can. And I don't think it'll take that much to put it in there. I'm gonna worry about just getting that stuff into place before I start cleaning up all the things here. Okay. So next, got that little curve in, and then it goes not quite straight, but pretty straight from out here, and I just need to make sure that... Yeah, I think I just pushed this part a little bit too far down. I just need to make sure that this area is high enough and kind of pointing in the right direction. Whereas before I had it pointing a little bit further down than I think I wanted it to. Yeah. And where it curves is still a little bit too low. So I'm going to go ahead and push some of these just a little bit higher. And thus, these are the kinds of things that I think about when I'm trying to line things up. But yeah, that's honestly close enough. There's like a very slight distortion in some of the little textures right there, but they're barely even noticeable, and I'm zoomed in to almost 300% here, so I think I'm still going to call that good. If I happen to see it while checking out all of my turns at some point, then maybe I'll fix it then. I did see something else though, and that I kind of want to fix. Still need to push all this just a little bit higher. And who knows, if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get that little tiny piece that's just barely off too. Okay, I think I'm going to start making adjustments to the lower turn as well, because I knew that there were some things that I wanted to fix in that area on my lower turn too. Just a little bit, just a little. Just a couple of things. I don't expect I'll be down here for very long. Gotta say, I like the piano. It's, I never did learn how to play one. And much like with everything, it'd be wrong to say that I have no interest in learning how to do so. But I have interests in many, many things. And I continue to be sad that there is too much knowledge in the world for me to just learn everything. That I have to pick and choose. Otherwise I totally would. But don't really have time to do it. Honestly, there are very few things in this world that I just have zero interest in learning about. Wish I had more time to just flop in my computer and, I don't know, read Wikipedia, try other things that I'm interested in. Maybe do more programming. I don't know. Just do all the things. But there are not enough hours in the day, and not enough time in a single human's life anymore. It's very sad. I lament it every day. Sometimes I'll just get interested in something, and I'll spend an afternoon reading about it, and maybe even doing something, and I'll be like, yeah, that was cool. And it's just already time to go back to doing all the other things that I want to do. Not really enough time to get any kind of mastery on it, just enough to consider it and find it kind of interesting. Enough to make me a little bit sad about it. Gives me like, man, that was cool. I wish I could think about it more. And music is one of those things for me. I feel like all of these little spots here should be just a tad higher. It's like I don't think her head is moving that much higher on that end, but very slightly. And I think I think that does look a little bit better. And now I can make the fine adjustments again. Oops, not that one. Thankfully not this one. That one I could just hide under the rug and never worry about it again. And it still feels so good, because that strand is so annoying to work with. I swear, I just go look at it every time and I'm just like, yes, I do not have to think about you. And it makes me happy. Okay, I feel like this part's kind of caving out a little bit now. Might have tilted it a little bit too far back. And I just need to adjust the angle here. I like the location, but the angle got turned upward just a little there. How do I fix that? Do I fix it by fixing the bottom, or do I fix it by fixing the top? The top, I think. Okay. Just had to think about that for a second, but I think I actually fixed this. I think the bottom is in a solid spot, so I changed the angle by adjusting the top here. Make the top go up a little bit steeper. Okay, yeah, that's better. I think I fixed the caving in feeling. Now there's just a couple of little wigglers straggling on out there. Alright. And then I think that will be that area. And I think before I go and do this on all the other angles, I want to do some other parts of the head. Because admittedly, like, this part right here has been squirming in my periphery for so long, I just want to take care of it. So I want to do that first. So the last few spots that are wiggling is like the very edge of this highlight here, just right up here. And then some stuff in the shadows over there. I'm gonna try to fix this highlight first. And once I'm satisfied with that highlight, then I will worry about the other squirmy spot just right there. Although it feels like this entire thing is sliding down a little bit, so maybe I need to pull some vertices up. I'll just slide all these guys on up here. And while I'm here, I guess I'll smooth out that spot too. It was a pretty easy little thing. Okay, I'm gonna consult the mesh here. See what it thinks about all of this, because I can tell that there's some stuff sliding around and I'm not a fan. This one going up a little bit too high. And this one not going up quite high enough. Okay, that should be fine. And then I think what's messing up with this little highlight here is just this vertex right there. So hopefully that fixed everything. Let's take a look. It's quite close. No cigar, though. Not quite there, but it was pretty close. Okay. And there we go, and I think all that's doing much better. I just got a little spot in the highlight here that I want to fix. Not entirely satisfied with the current angle. But there we go. I think I fixed, like, the scariest parts of my upper right turn. Now the only thing left that really bothers me when I stare at it is her eyes. So I already know that I'm gonna have to revisit her face at some point. I actually feel like her other facial features are fine. There's just something about the eyes that keep bothering me. Couldn't tell you what it is. I'm gonna have to really dig into that at some point. It's only in my upward turns, though. So, that's good. I'm pretty happy with my downward ones. Look at her spin. Okay. Alright. So, next order of business. Over here, and finishing off the back of her head up there. Because I think once I get this, it'll be nice and easy to just go over here and then finish off the bulk of her hair. Then I can worry about everything down here. And these guys will be for when I do body turns. I think that they're acceptable for the time being, so. They just look a little bit flat, and I might kind of want to fix that up once I'm doing a little bit more with my body turns. But anyway, this guy. It's never quite sure what to do with that. I had some thoughts, but looks like it didn't quite work out the way I hoped, so I'm just gonna get something that looks good, doesn't squirm, and I'm not gonna worry too much about 3D-ness here. Just gonna get something passable. Because I have tried a few things here, and never quite cooperates with me. And I think I just kind of want to get things done. This side actually looks pretty good, though. So I guess I succeeded somewhat. Good to know. Is it just a case of the corners are freaking out, and maybe some spots with the bottom? Because that's where I saw a lot of squirming happening. But no, I feel like my right turn looks pretty good. Let's check up and down here. Hold on, get an eyelash. There we go. Downward turn seems fine. Upward turn maybe a little bit squirmy in the corner. Just at the very base right there. Actually, now that I think about it, didn't I work on these angles and the hair behind there one day, and I just said that I wasn't up for doing corners, and that I was going to do that the next day, and then I got distracted by something. I think I remember that happening, and it's okay. I knew I'd get to it eventually. Honestly, if I can barely remember that day, it was probably a good call not to do something difficult like corners. I probably would have had to redo a lot of that, and that would have just been unfortunate. It's alright. Future self here to the rescue. Let's get this all in. Okay, this seems fine. I think I might want to pull on just the very, very corner of that base part here. Just gently pull that this way. Don't want to move too much of it. I just want the very edge of that to go a little bit further down. Okay. I think that's good. And now I'm just gonna perfect the angle on kind of this black spot going down the middle. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Now I'm gonna go check this spot here, and if I am satisfied with that on the 4 initial angles that I like to check, then I will go in and do my corners. Let's see, do I want to make this angle a little bit sharper at the top? I think I do. Part of that is just that little loop that really should have been its own layer needs to come much closer to the hair, I think. Kind of had it poofing out a little bit too hard. There we go. And then I think I'll bring this in just a little bit to make it just a little bit pointier up at the top. And I think that'll match the shape that I have on the default turn there a little bit better. So this was another small angle adjustment. And those are the kinds of things that I think about. Just matching angles. Yeah, that seems better. Alright, let's go do some corners. I'll start with my left corners, as always. Oh my. Oh my, indeed. Okay. So got a little bit of work cut out for me here, but that's okay. I should be able to get there. And indeed, it looks like that I must have done all of those areas in my 4 cardinal directions, but decided, you know what, I don't want to do the corners today, and saved them for later. But later didn't come until now. It's okay, I have no doubt in my mind that I would have noticed it eventually. That even if I forgot about it for a little while, that eventually I would see things squirming in ways I do not enjoy, and I would have been, I should fix that. Because that tends to be how it goes. So the first thing I'm looking at here is just where it connects to the side of her head here. I always like getting this angle right first. Just because I really feel like where it connects here informs the rest of how the hair looks up there. And once I can get that curve right, then I'll know where things should fall down here, because it's a nice big old triangle. It's just a big old triangle. So I'm getting one of the corners of that triangle right, so that this way it'll be nice and easy to tell where the other parts of that triangle should go. And I can see here that I had it pushed in much more, so I'm expanding it out much more than it was before. So I guess the way that I had it before was that I didn't have like a continuous curve going all the way up here, like I do now, and I rather like that kind of continuous curve there. I think it looks nice. And I do think it suits the shape of her head, so I am more than happy to keep doing that. Just really trying to perfect that angle there. Normally I don't worry too much about getting things clean until I know that I'm happy with their location. But in this case, the thing that I'm trying to get right is the overall angle that the strand is going up at. So I think it's actually pretty important that the edge of that be correct, so that this way I can really see if the angle's the way I want it to be. And right now I think it's actually doing quite well. So what I'm worrying about for the moment is this little line of pink. I want to get that looking right. I think there should be a little bit more pink on this angle. But at the same time, yeah, I think there should be a little bit more showing here. But I'm having trouble finding the right balance. So it's like there should be quite a bit of pink showing, because this is the lower left turn and we see a little bit more of the top of her head when she's looking down. But this is also a left head turn, which means that we'll see a little bit less pink on this side, because it's kind of receding into the background. So that is the general idea. I'm just trying to line it up with this left turn, mostly. Okay, when I look here, the angle that goes up from here all the way up here, I see that there's a point where the angle changes very slightly here. So it comes up here and then it becomes a little bit steeper. And I'm not reflecting that in my lower left turn here. So I'm taking a look at where that point is, and I think I know roughly where it is now. Actually, I want to take one more look before I change it. Yeah, you can see the line gets a little bit thicker right there, and that's where the angle changes. So for me, that'll be right here. So I just want to pull this out a little bit. Not too much, it's not an extreme angle change, but just enough to make its presence known. Yeah, there we go. I think that should line up quite nicely. Okay, and then there's just some points where some vertices got pulled and squished and pushed all around in places where they don't belong. So, gotta go find where those are and put them back where they belong. Okay. Just get the spacing for all these guys right. Okay, there we go. I think that fixed some of the sliding that I was seeing. And when I'm checking that, I always like to zoom out pretty far, so that this way I'm not getting stuck on random stuff that doesn't actually matter. Because I am prone to doing such things. Okay. And I don't feel like there's that much strongly off here. Like, there's still some spots I have to fix. But it's all looking pretty good, so with any luck, I'll just have that all working shortly. I'm also trying to align things with the bottom turn now, and I noticed that these pink parts need to be a little bit higher up. That kind of helps me figure out where things need to go vertically. Yeah, there we go, that looks pretty good. Now I feel like the only thing that's off is just stuff dealing with this little loop of hair that I really should have put on its own layer. I still regret that choice to this day. But I remember looking at it and I was just like, you know, I'm probably not going to move that much. Does it really need to be on its own layer? It should be plenty easy to move if I just keep it on the same layer. And, well, you know, if any of my future selves try to convince me of that again, I'm not going to let them. Because they are wrong. They are very wrong. That should have definitely been its own layer. I would have had a much easier time with many things if I had just properly separated that. So instead, I kind of have to just deal with some things being a little bit of a pain now. Okay, definitely gonna have to change the shape of that a little bit. So now I feel like I'm getting into kind of the small, final details. So nothing from here on is going to look that different from how it currently does. It's just going to all be aligned a little bit nicer. Hopefully get rid of the last little bits of squirming that I see. Right now I'm just taking a look for where I see the worst of the squirming. And it looks like it's at the very, very top here, where it connects. It just needs to come up a little bit more like this. Kind of almost connects, yeah, completely flat at the top. Almost vertically. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. I think I'm gonna have to straighten out that strand too, but I want to see if that top part is looking better. Yep. Got him. Alright, I think I got the shape. Now I just want to get the thickness. I think it's getting a little bit thinner than it should there. So let's go ahead and separate these vertices just a little bit more. And then I think it should be fine. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. And I actually think this area looks fine on this corner. So it's entirely possible that the only parts that I didn't like was just over here on the right side. Which makes sense, because I don't like my right turns as much. It's okay, they're getting a lot better. Okay, no, I need to fix the one up here too. Alright, yeah, that one definitely needs to be fixed up. And I'm glad that I'm doing this before I start trying to think about what I want to do over here, because seeing all that squirming while I'm trying to do something else would have been annoying. It's alright, I can do things in any order, but I think some orders are perhaps a little bit more efficient than others. And the hope is just that I find something that works. I would not exactly say I've been the height of efficiency when working on this, but I think I'm getting better. I'm doing my best. It's okay. When it comes to doing something new, you gotta start somewhere. I do look forward to making some more models in the future, too. And seeing what I learned here, or taking what I learned here and seeing what I can do with it. Seeing if it helps me out in terms of both efficiency and overall quality. I'm also realizing that I don't quite like the way the top of this strand here is sitting on top of this, so I'm gonna go tuck that in just a little bit. Now that that area is looking a little bit more correct, I was able to notice that something was a little bit off there. Such things happen a lot when I'm working on, well, drawing, rigging, anything visual, I suppose. Where I make a change and I'm just like, okay, I didn't notice this problem before, but I do now. And now I can't unsee it. It's for the best. I've actually been thinking about a lot of my art habits lately. It's because when I was working on my new profile image, I'm very happy with how that came out, by the way. It took me forever to get the eyebrows looking okay, because for whatever reason, every time I drew them, I'm just like, this makes it look like my smile there is extremely hide the pain. Something about them just looked so off. It made me look like I was forcing a smile. But I eventually got it looking right. But such things happen a lot. Especially with things around the face, even just something being subtly off in the facial expression can completely change the impression that a face gives. And I'm just like, I didn't want to be hiding the pain, I wanted to be actually smiling. Because I'm happy to be here. I'm not... I really am. So I didn't want to look sad or like I was trying to force the smile. I wanted to look happy as I actually feel. So it took a few tries. I think I have some of my flailing in the time lapse, but... Such things are always a little bit funny to me. The human brain is kind of funny like that, and just how easily we can tell when something is just very slightly off with someone's face. It's part of what makes faces so hard to draw. Because, I mean, if you draw trees and leaves and all of these things, you can make them look pretty much however you want. But if you, heaven forbid, have your eyebrows at an angle that's just, I don't know, 30 degrees instead of a proper 45 for whatever expression that you want to do or something, then it's just gonna look wrong. Or if you have the nose like 3 pixels too far to the left, it's gonna look wrong. That was definitely one of the big hurdles I had to get over when I was a baby artist. It didn't help that I was going for more of a semi-realistic style at the time, so oh man did I go far into Uncanny Valley so much. I spent so long in that valley that I can pretty easily show anyone around. I know my way around there now. But I did eventually find a way through it. It just takes time. And pain. Gotta walk through all those thistles. I've seen a lot of character artists be afraid of drawing backgrounds or feel like they're too time-consuming. but honestly, they are like 100 times easier than actually drawing a character. Just because people tend to not care as much about the way backgrounds look. So you can get away with a lot more. It doesn't have to be quite as precisely perfect. It's very nice. It can be a bit of a nice break, honestly. Okay, this is a completely different area, but it's bothering me enough in the area that I'm working on that I'm going to go ahead and fix the angle here too. This needs to come up just a tad more here. There we go. Something like that should work. But it was stopping me from properly being able to see the shape of the strand that I was working on, so I wanted to go ahead and adjust that right now. I will worry about getting it like perfect and exactly where it belongs once I'm doing the right side of her head. But I needed it to get the general shape of like the base of this looking the way that I wanted to. Because I felt like it was a little bit off. I was just talking about things and how our brain is able to very easily see when faces are a little bit off. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite apply to hair, so I have to work a little bit harder. I have to work a little bit harder to find all the problems. I actually think this side looks okay, though. So I feel like all the problems on this corner are just right over here. Okay, I don't think this corner is quite done, but we'll see if I'm up for doing my right turns once I get this right. I think it's pretty close. And I think I still got a little bit more in me, so I'm going to go attempt it. But I may or may not finish them. I haven't decided yet. It's okay. If I don't finish them today, I'll finish them tomorrow. I think I can be pretty happy with the progress that I made today. My upper right turn no longer scares me. Although wait. Okay. No, there is one thing I want to do after I finish what I'm doing here, in that I realized that I forgot to turn the hair strand that sits on top of the hair over here back on. And I want to get that looking good on my upper right turn too. Very important. And then after that, I think I can be a little bit happier with my progress. And I realized that I wasn't quite happy with how this part here was sitting up there. I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't look quite right. I'm actually going to stay zoomed in while I move this, just so I can really see it. Yeah, see how it's really being stretched very, very far to the right. And that just doesn't seem quite right. We'll go ahead and push it back over to the left a bit. See, it looks a little bit crunchy, but I want to make sure that everything is in place before I start cleaning it up. Oh, there's a shadow there that's really going far up here. Let me make sure that I'm seeing this correctly. I feel like there's a little shadow that's just going way up there, yeah. Wow, look at that guy go. It's a bit too much. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, I think I still need to shove it a little bit further to the left. Just noticing a few things here and there. But that happens. And I think it's good to fix them whenever I do see them. So let's just clean up this little area too. It might be part of why I didn't feel like that area looked quite right. Just pulling myself down, just a tiny rabbit hole here. That's okay, this is the only angle on this side that seems to be having any problems. With that spot, at least. So yeah, the other ones seem fine. And that is much better. Cool. Now back to taking a look at the back of her head there. I actually think it's looking pretty okay. Let me make sure it's lined up with everything else here. Yeah, this seems fine. Alright, before I forget again, I want to go ahead and fix that strand here, because you can see it is very wrinkly. Looks utterly ridiculous. Isn't even in the right place. There is just nothing right going on here, so let's go ahead and fix that up. I almost forgot about this little guy completely. So it's only fair that I fix him before I go and do anything else. And then I'll see if I'm up for doing the back of her head in the other corners. Only got 2 left. But they are the right corners, and they are not as easy to work with as my left ones. I don't know what it is about the left corners, or my left turns in general, that have been so much easier than my right ones. But here we are. I do not know why this is true, but I know it is. Hello there, Elena. So thank you. I am glad you like it. Oh. Accidentally touched the scale handle. So, how are you doing today? Alright, so just gradually pushing this little strand into place here. It's coming along. I think I've gotten most of the angle right, so now that I think the top is looking okay, I can worry about the angles on the bottom. Then I want to make sure that everything is swinging right over here. Okay, there we go. I think that's pretty okay. So now I can go in and straighten it out just a little bit, because there's like a little distortion right there. And then another tiny one just like right up here. Alright. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Looks fine. Okay, so... do I feel like tackling my right turns? Yeah, I think I got a little bit more juice in me. Let's at least start this lower right turn. I can at least get some of the easy stuff underneath there. So I feel like the problems here are pretty easy to spot. Got a little bit of low-hanging fruit I can get into place there. And honestly, the back doesn't even look that bad. Oh, okay, so this is interesting in that right now the top of this black line here I think is lined up perfectly, or at least close to it, with my right turn, but not at all with my lower turn. So that means there's something wrong going on. Let's see if I can find a reasonable middle ground for both of them that doesn't require me to make a bunch of changes. I'm gonna start with lighting it up with the bottom turn. See if I can get something that looks okay there. Okay, that looks okay. That looks pretty okay, and... just want to fix this angle a little bit here. Okay, this actually agrees, mostly. I think I do have to lower it on my right angle a little bit. But not as much as I was fearing. So now we'll just bring this black line just a little tiny bit lower. Make sure that lines up with the default turn still. Yep, still looks okay. It's not quite there yet. I don't really want to bring my lower right turn, or the black line on it at least, any higher, really. I think this is about as high as I can get away with in order for it to line up with my lower turns. Let me make sure that it's lining up with the lower left too. Yeah, seems fine. Seems fine to me. Okay, this actually seems like it'll be okay. Once I kind of fix up the angles on the rest of it. So there's like a couple of vertices controlling these parts here, and I think if I just kind of fan it out a little bit more like this, then it might actually line up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. That looked like it might get a little bit scary for a second there, but it all worked out. Okay. Now I just need to fix the angle and where it connects at the bottom there. Because at least in my right turn, and I kind of dig the effect, so I'm going to try to keep it. There's like this tiny little part that comes out down here. Kind of digs into the parts right over there, where her hair parts. And I want to see if I can keep that effect, because I like it. So I'm just going to do something like that. Let's see if that lines up with the bottom. Well, actually no. Let's make sure it lines up here first. Make sure that I have the effect correct based on the area that I'm basing it on to begin with. That seems like a good idea. I was thinking about making sure that it all lined up with my bottom turn first, but nah, that doesn't make sense. Gotta make sure that it's good here first. Okay, and now I think it is. Okay, I might actually have to revisit all this tomorrow. Think about it today, and revisit it with a little bit more of a fresh brain. Okay, now this seems okay. But I do think that I will still do that. I think that's probably a good idea at this point. So I'll go ahead and do these two right corners tomorrow, and then, yeah, just start filling out the rest of her hair on this side. I think that's like the last thing I have to do for like the top of her head at least. And then I can go into the strands over here and over here. So hopefully I'll be able to get all that done pretty soon. But for now, I think this is where I will stop for today. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.